presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
We have Mike from Chicago on the line, and he has a question about digestion.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
First of all, I just wanted to say that I love the show. I think it's great programming, and I'm very much of a like mind when it comes to, taking control of your own health and certainly doing your own research.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Happy Friday and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore and return to a more balanced, natural, wild world to take back control of our personal choices as well as our health and our freedoms. I'm Nico Haan.
And I'm Paige Clarke.
And it's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater.
We've got a fall snap today. It was
a little cooler this morning, yes, and it's about like 78 degrees right now, so it's
We're
really
kind of
nice.
spoiled guys, but
We are.
we hope we're sure you're enjoying the weather wherever you are too.
Folks, please subscribe to a Health Signals newsletter. I have a new one, number 20 for the year, coming out right now. It's coming to you, and please pick up some Primal Edge daily supplement. Help you get stronger and healthier and avoid all this flu season that's coming up right now. And you can do this, of course, on the TFNN.com website, and we're also taking your phone calls at 877-927-6648. What's going on, Paige?
Well, we've got a lot going on. You and I, we'll have to, maybe after the next break, we'll pull up the flyer, but Nico is joining me and a bunch of other health, truth, self-empowerment enthusiasts. We're all basically doing a wonderful event here in our area at the lovely Innisbrook Resort, and it's going to be called Better Breast Health Awareness, the key word being health. We're into believing that it's not in the cure, it's actually in the prevention. So everyone that's coming is going to be talking about the power of utilizing tips, tools, and techniques to avoid it in the first place.
Don't say that too fast.
Well, you know me and my alliterations. I love my alliterations. And I'm doing a lot of really cool blending, aromatically.
Yeah, that's where we had a little meeting yesterday, and you were talking about all these little the oils. And I'm
having fun with my little alliterations, what I'm going to call them.
No, these are lotions and things.
Well, different. You know that I'm a person who enjoys evidence-based natural health and healing. So I do like to blend. It may be a folk remedy, but I like to show the evidence-based PubMed research because I use the powerful Green Med info. We often cite that on the site. So I'm working on a special concoction that that utilizes the power of the citrus essential oils and chemical constituents to be used.
Now, this is specifically for the breasts?
For the breasts, breast lymph tissue, breast, and has evidence-based from research institutes of its ability to be used possibly as a very excellent prevention for abnormal cells and stuff like that.
Yeah, in fact, one of the things we were talking about during this meeting, which I had no clue about naturally, I'm kind of a bystander here, and I'm wondering if I'm going to be the only guy there, but probably not. But the interesting thing is that the tests, I know that a lot of women, they have a yearly breast exam with...
Like the mammogram.
The mammogram, which smashes you. It's got to be unpleasant. But, of course, there are side effects from this, and it's accumulative. That's what you were talking about yesterday.
Well, what we were sharing, and this is what we're all about. We're not there to slam any particular approach someone wants to take, but what we have found out is that many women don't even know what a thermogram is, which is thermography, which is using infrared. You love the power of infrared. Photography to look for changes in breast tissue. As one of our speakers added to our conversation yesterday.
That was Venus, I believe?
No, it was Dr. Pat Snare. Dr. Pat Snare is a chiropractor, and she and I share a lot of common beliefs. She pointed out that whereas thermography looks for changes in breast tissue, mammography looks for cancer. Wouldn't you rather find the changes in the tissue before you find the cancer?
So finding the changes first would be...
Sounds like a good plan to me. The power's not in the cure, it's in the prevention.
And it's also a lot cheaper. Mammograms are pretty much expensive.
Well, the difference is mammograms are covered by insurance. So we have to remember that the hospitals have made a major investment in this technology. And despite the fact that research is showing that there are safer, maybe perhaps even more effective screening techniques such as thermography, ultrasound, and even MRI. That was the key point. We talked about, you said that what the risks, there are some risks that people don't understand with mammography. We're greening up this Pinktober, this pink washing. We're not so much about the pink, we're into the green. We want to teach you other choices. And quite frankly, mammography is ionizing radiation. And ionizing radiation does cause cancer. In fact, with every mammogram that you get, there's approximately a 2% increase in your risk of getting breast cancer. Now, if you do a little math, after 10, 15 years.
When is it recommended that you start having the mammograms?
Well, this was a big issue last year. I don't know if you recall this in the literature, that the organizations had always been pushing that women should start getting mammograms at 40. But with everything that's happening, with some a lot of women are getting them even earlier than that. And, why are we looking for breast cancer? Well, because we've got estrogenic tissues. Why do we have estrogenic tissues? Because we're eating chemical toxin foods and pesticides that are in our environment. However, like I just said, do the math.
You always talk about that you're getting bombarded by so many different things, not only the women, but men also.
Exactly, and estrogen interferes with iodine's positioning in the cell receptor sites, and iodine is protective against all glands and organs that get cancer. Any gland or organ that secretes something gets cancer, and guess what? All of those glands and organs really need iodine, not just the breast and so forth.
So during surgeries, they also not only remove the breast lots of times, but they're talking about removing the lymph nodes, and that's why, because of what you were talking about.
A lot of times a biopsy could create a situation. I like to use the analogy of a dandelion. The little dandelion, when you blow on it, the little seeds go everywhere. Well, that can also be the result of an aspiration biopsy. If in fact it is a cancer, then what have they just done?
They just spread it all over the place.
We're not saying that there's any one way to approach your protection of yourself, but what we do know is that you have to be enlightened, empowered, and encouraged, and embrace the fact that there are multiple things that you can do, and that the real power is in us taking control and making lifestyle changes that make a breast health challenge unlikely. And we're going to be sharing a lot of those tips, tools, and techniques that evening.
Yeah, I'm sure we are. And, one thing that really interested me, that I had no knowledge of the other tests. So to me, that means that it's not out in the mainstream. Nobody's talking about this. And you citing the fact that the insurance pays for the mammograms, but not the other thing, is one of the main reasons why doctors will not go to that.
Well, exactly, folks. And I mean, we have some very generous sponsors. So the people that come to this event are going to be very pleasantly surprised in some of the offerings. But
well, if you're local, you need to attend this. If you're a woman, for sure.
Go right away.
If you're not, come on anyway, because I'm going to be there, and we can chat, about other things too. But I think it's going to be very interesting. I'm excited to hear the speakers, and I'm going to gain some knowledge that I normally wouldn't. I wouldn't be going to these things normally.
And what's real? Well, actually, I think that you will, because you have a little bit of God. You've got a little goddess energy. You'll bring out your God energy, and we need a little balancing there.
No doubt.
But this is actually.
I embrace my feminine side, whatever that is.
I like that. Yeah, in a very masculine way.
Naturally, with my pipe and
Well, what I want to say is that what we're very hopeful is we're very pleased with. We have a beautiful facility in Innisbrook, and it's very popular during the PGA tournaments. But they've got some very forward-thinking people in management, and that are very health conscious and very interested in doing things not just for the community, but also for their employees, and that really excites me. So, Allie Ford from our Allie Ford is going to be working with me. She's going to be leading us in mindfulness and meditation. Love Allie, and we've got other guest speakers, Venus DeMarco and another author.
Very interesting gal.
The author of the book Pink Hell. Venus has a great book. So this is
this coming Thursday, which is what this...
October 22nd, 6 to 9, Innisbrook Resort, the Indava Spa. We're going to post a flyer. We'll make sure it's up on Nico's and my page. You can track us down if you're local. Please join us. It'll be a fun evening.
Yeah, I think it will be. And these little things that you're giving out, which are the lotions.
Well, some of it we're giving out, and some of it's going to be for sale to raise money, because this whole event is Well, and let me just say this because I think it's a beautiful thing. We believe this is going to be the first of many goddess and god gatherings. We're going to call it goddess gatherings, and we hope to use this beautiful facility at Innisbrook. But we're raising money because Indaba means gathering in Zulu.
Okay.
And so we're a gathering of goddesses, and we're going to do good. So what we're going to do with this is we're interested in supporting women in our local community. So everyone that comes is going to have an opportunity after they visit the vendors and learn. They're going to have an opportunity to nominate someone that's close to them, perhaps that is going through a breast health challenge. And we know that 85% of all issues with doctors is stress related. So we have all kinds of spa packages, little beach getaways on condos.
Yeah, there's a lot of giveaways.
Free services and screening services. And the more you give, the more you get. So we are going to have some little things for sale. We're going to have the Primal Edge sampling, and we're going to be selling that. And we're all of us as vendors are going to be donating proceeds to also fill this bucket. We've had a couple of large sponsors, such as Floor and Robig Law Firm around the corner, that is going to. We're working on the fine details, but they are very generously. Everyone is touched with people that have breast health challenges, and a large law firm like that is no exception. And so they are going to be donating some funds and resources to make this a gifting to some people in need, and also to benefit the people that attend, because we believe if the more you give, the more you get.
Yeah.
So be there, guys and gals.
So what I'm going to give away is spending an hour with Nico. If you buy a bottle of Primal Edge, and you can do that as a consult, or you can do that as an exercise, as a personal training session, any way you want.
Love it.
So
I'm so glad that you're going to be there, because you're such a big part of my life. So anyways, we'll be posting
Fridays
that
is
shortly.
one of my favorite days because we get to spend this hour together and talk about stuff like this that, in normal conversations, we may touch on it, but, we really try to get in depth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, folks. Make sure that you subscribe to the Health Signals newsletter. It is we get feedback from those that are subscribing. It's one of the most high-valued products they get in their inbox. It's $10 a month. You get 2 issues.
And somebody in the chat room is asking us if
you ever read Joseph Campbell? Yes, we do, and we can talk about that after we get back from our break. Confetti Wars. Yep, he's got some really great thoughts.
So last night, my wife and I went to see Caroline Cole.
Oh,
She's was at this little eatery down in Dunedin called the Hogfish Clam House or something like that. It's a brand new place, but she played there just by herself, her and acoustic guitar. And this lady is really, really talented. 18 years old, and she
writes her own songs. We've determined that she's an old soul because some of these songs you just wonder where they come from.
Her playing has just, the last time I saw her in a setting like that was a few years ago, just without her band. She is so polished.
So she's playing again at Edgewater Park Saturday night in downtown Dunedin, correct?
Yeah, she's playing at the Old Bay Cafe, which is right off of Edgewater Park. I think there's a stage outside. It's the Crab Fest weekend, so good chance to get some good...
Come see us. I think Nico and I are going to catch up there maybe Saturday night. Have a little fun. I need a little fun.
I know that.
I'm going to be blending all day, but then I'm going to become
Number here is 877-927-6648. We'll be right back, folks.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. This is Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle.
Yeah, you know, Confetti Wars made a comment, wanted to know if we ever read about Joseph Campbell. And for those of you who don't know, Joseph Campbell lived about 100 years ago. And he was actually born to a Roman Catholic couple. And he just provides a lot of great inspiration. You might want to Google the Joseph Campbell Foundation. Interesting story. His earliest years were kind of unremarkable. But then when he was 7 years old, he went to the Buffalo Bill Wild West show. And, you know, the high point was, you know, all these cowboys were clearly the show's stars. But what he was really fascinated with, and he became, the words were seized, obsessed by the figure of a naked American Indian with his ears to the ground, a bow and arrow in his hand, and a look of special knowledge in his eyes. So a lot of his...
I can just picture that.
Yeah. So he became consumed with Native American culture, and his worldview was arguably shaped by the dynamic tension between these two mythological perspectives. So thanks for sharing that, Confetti Wars. And yes, I think he's one of the great thinkers. Mm-hmm. And one of his key things was to follow your bliss.
I think it's a good idea. You know, I've been trying to do that most of my life with all these things. I got a couple of things.
And I think that's what we do here. I think both of us have a bliss and an enjoyment in finding, uncovering, and sharing knowledge Ancient
doubt
wisdom,
about it.
quantum science.
Up on the chat room, I have a picture of Caroline Cole and my wife Ellen and myself.
Oh,
So
how cute. I like
that's
that.
kind of neat. And also, what I've been doing, of course, is putting my spa together. So I've got a little video here. He's got this in the chat room.
Oh, yeah, hopefully Alex got it up. Yep.
Yep. Okay, so here's my
Nico
bathroom.
and
This is the
Ellen's
spare
bathroom.
spare bathroom. What I did is I put a sheet over the top. You'll be able to see that in a
Right,
second.
and then you've
There's
hung
the
your
bulbs.
infrared lights.
So there's the sheet that's covering the top.
Right, so you're creating that warm environment.
Yeah, and then I got a nice little stool, a shower stool that rotates. So we
Nice.
can rotate every few minutes.
So if you actually have a guest, real easy to disengage those things. Obviously, no one wants to have their electrical apparatus and
We're
turn
not
on the
inviting
tub.
people over anymore. This is it, man. Just kidding, of course. But
Yeah.
it's I've been using it. I started with 10 minutes, and I've been increasing it every time 5 minutes. I'm up to last night. I think I did pretty close to an hour.
Nice.
So
that can be a
but
little tough because you will be actually detoxing fat-soluble.
Funny that you mention it.
solvents.
I feel it in my glands here, and I have a little more hoarse
Yeah.
today, and that started kind of last night.
You want me to make you a lymph blend that you can put on before?
Blend me
got
up,
it.
baby.
Next week,
Blend me
you
up.
got it.
Okay, so that helps. But I really I'm enjoying this.
Mm-hmm.
It's taking a nice break of an hour. Of course, no TV. I sometimes listen to a hockey game or listen to a podcast doing research, for our show. I find it's nice. So every hour now, or every night, I have an hour where I'm going to be sitting in the sauna.
Well, I really like this because you're showing it how you can make it a
This was really inexpensive, folks.
inexpensive, but it doesn't take up space. I actually have a sauna, an infrared sauna, but I wouldn't buy one now if I
Right.
knew how to do
and
this.
I looked into it. I was going to
They
spend.
take up a lot of
$2,000.
room.
Well, I was going to do it outside, so I've got plenty of room outside.
Yeah.
I was going to put it under the deck, and I just thought, why should I spend $2,500 when I saw this lamp, which has 4 bulbs in it, and the whole unit was like $400 plus the shipping.
Yeah, but what I also like is the fact that even if you didn't want to sit on the stool, you can lay in your tub and it's like you're lounging because
Yeah.
you can buy those little terry cloth pillows and then you can actually be comfortable. You can lay a towel in there.
Well,
and
actually,
just,
what I've been doing is, because I don't have the greatest posture, I round my shoulders a lot of times, I've been practicing sitting up straight into a nice posture, kind of a little Zen thing. But anyway, I just wanted to show you the progress
for
for less than
sharing.
probably $450. Maybe $500 with the bulbs and everything. The chain comes with the unit, and anybody that's interested, I can send them a flyer or give them the address where they can pick this stuff up. I found it very healing. Of course, the single bulbs are nice too, and we still use that for
and those
spot
of you
things.
that are really in the northern, we enjoy this too. We have our little winter, but boy, I'm telling you, the healing power of our infrared
You can
light
feel it.
spectrum is so important. It penetrates up to 6 inches into the tissue. I mentioned to you all that I use and also distribute to my clients and people that I'm coaching the Earth Wrap,
The Earth Wrap,
which
yeah,
actually
which is really
utilizes the...
Now, do those come in different sizes?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I thought
They are piezoelectric rose granite, even more so than my amethyst. In my office, I have an amethyst mat that generates far and near infrared.
yeah.
So
I
the
have
Earth
one
Wrap
with
does
the
too.
emeralds, or not the emeralds, the jade.
Jade.
Which
the
works
same
really
guy,
well.
the same company. I know the developer of
Yeah.
those. He makes the jade. Now he makes the jade in a couple of special sizes. So again, if anybody's interested in getting these health promoting products, and Nico and I'll help you, and that's what we're here to do because you're tigers
Nico
and tigresses.
or Paige at TFNN.com. And the number here, of course, is 877-927-6648. Take a look at our Health Signals newsletter. I have a new one out, and it's packed full of things. We don't have time to go over it this week, but next week we may. And we got something to talk about. Some sugar lovers will maybe like this or not. I'm not sure. But we're going
Okay,
to talk
see you
about
after the
sugar
break.
next. We'll be right back.
You've heard Nico de Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Thanks for sticking around, folks. Nico and Paige here. We want to talk a little bit about the FDA. They're proposing some new guidelines.
Maybe
for
they're
sugar.
not so sweet.
That's for sure. If you're a sugar addict, or if you're using sugar on a regular basis, this might find interesting.
Yeah, America, we do have a sugar problem.
Yeah,
and I think that's pretty clear. And we don't have to pound that in any more than we already do pretty much every show.
Because it's hidden in so many things. We talked last week about the lattes and the milk and stuff like that. And people, I know when I drink coffee, I like it black. Except in the afternoon, I don't mind spicing it up a little bit, so I have a little bit of honey in it.
So this is the kind of the key point. If you're getting more than 10% of your calories from added sugars, everything from the sugar in your coffee to the high fructose corn syrup in your ketchup, good Lord, please get that cleaned out of your pantry.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You are getting too much. Some experts say even 10%. We probably agree that that's even too much.
Yeah. Well, if you're a soda drinker, it's huge. It says 50 grams is the amount in one sugar-sweetened 16-ounce bottle.
So 50 times 4 is 200 calories.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, this is 50 grams.
Well, no. So each gram has 4 calories.
Yes.
So that's like 200 calories.
Just from the sugar.
Just from that one soda. So, you've really got to
Just from the sugar in the soda.
Yeah, just from the sugar in the soda, correct.
Yeah, there's other things in there, too. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it is huge. I stopped using sugar completely. My wife uses a little bit of that. Tomato sauce. Yeah, tomato sauce is all about sugar and salt.
You have to read your labels. If you're, you know, again, tomato sauce has one of the most pigment-rich, you know, as I tell you from my Qigong masters that I study with, pigmentation, the pigments of the browns and the reds are extremely powerful. The light spectrum, the pigment, the light spectrum is what we're looking for, and then they go and ruin it by putting high fructose corn syrup. So either make your own tomato sauces, or better yet, I mean, better, that would be the best, but if not, make sure you're buying organic tomato sauces in BPA-free cans and so forth like that. And
so,
get that.
In beverages, 47% of these include like soft drinks and fruit drinks and coffee and tea and sport drinks, and alcohol is 1%. So there's a big percentage of what you're drinking is going to be sugar. Of course, there's 31% sugar in snacks and sweets.
And then 22% in everything else, which we call the condiments, those sneaky little condiments, like the ketchup and some prepared mustard, although I like to explain to a lot of my people that are going more towards the way we eat, that mustard can be your friend because it's a vinegar and spices. Again, read the label, and if you don't recognize any of the names, put it away and look for a brand that you do.
The key to all this is the processing, because if you're, you know, sugar is probably the most processed product we have in our food, besides, I would say, cereals.
And
those two things themselves, and most of the time they're used in conjunction with each other, and most of the time they're used in conjunction with a low-fat milk. So because the low fat, it doesn't slow anything down. You've got sugar. You've got sugar in the sweetener. You got sugar in what you're putting into the thing. You got sugar in the milk.
Exactly.
It's just, I mean, it's a nightmare
crazy.
out there.
It's
It is crazy.
And let me just share something, because this is just a little interesting, because I saw this article. You know, like you said, you don't eat any of those things. I happen to have a little bit of a sweet tooth, so I embrace stevia. I don't have to have it in everything, but I do. And there's some interesting research that I just came across. I was reading a book I downloaded from Dr. Mayer Einstein. Now, Dr. Mayer Einstein is not only a lawyer, but he's a medical doctor, and he has a master's in public health. He just recently died. Some people believe possibly suspicious reasons, but we'll leave that alone. You know, he's outspoken on natural health. Dr. Einstein, at his foundation, I downloaded his book, and he shared that there's a lot of with research, some evidence-based research, that stevia also lowers blood pressure. Now, I have stopped recommending stevia for couples that are trying to conceive, though, because we've also found out that Indians used it a little bit as a contraceptive, so that's interesting.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Again, you know,
well, you're having luck with your clients, though, them getting pregnant.
Yeah, I take them off stevia and I put them on the Primal Edge.
Oh, yeah.
I got 3 or 4 of them now.
Yeah.
That, you know, were previously unsuccessful at conception, and then were successful. And that's, you know, again, when the body gets the message that it's healthy enough to support a fetus, you know, when it's getting the minerals that it needs from the soil, then great things happen.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the hidden things. We always talk about the hidden things, the hidden sugar, and anything that has a OSE at the end, like dextrose and maltose and fructose. It's all basically sugar. And the hidden sugars sometimes are worse than sugar itself, because it may have a higher
glycemic.
Of the liquid, the fructose type, instead of the not dextrose, but fructose and what's sucrose.
Yes.
So it's kind of, sugar is 55% sucrose and 45% fructose, whereas fructose is the opposite. And just that little 10% difference in the fructose makes a huge difference in how your body receives the sugar.
That's a really great point, and I always laugh because Dr. Mercola is real hot on this point. He actually pronounces fructose, but whether it's tomato, fructose.
Yeah, right.
The bottom line is that things high in fructose, which is the fruit-based sugar, if it doesn't come from a natural fruit with the fiber intact that you might put in a blender or by eating the real fruit, it is processed primarily by the liver, and we tend to see, you know, a higher incidence of fatty liver disease. It's processed differently.
Yeah.
And a lot of people come to me when they're trying to make changes, and a lot of people ask me about agave. Now, I find that agave is a very...
that's mostly all fructose.
It's mostly all fructose, and it's highly processed.
Yeah.
And
I think it's the most highly processed of all the sugars. Yeah, agave. I looked at that, and I saw it at the health food store, and I was telling my wife, man, another substitute, let's take a look at this. And I actually bought a bottle of it, and I goes, boy, that was really, intense. You use much less of it, and then I threw the bottle out when I started reading.
Yeah, I don't recommend that.
No,
if you're
not
gonna,
a good substitute, folks. In fact, there aren't any good substitutes. There's some natural products like honey.
With the exception of, I think,
Yeah.
raw honey
And
in moderation.
Stevia is great.
And stevia.
If you like
Stevia
it.
being an herb. A lot of people go, yeah, but what about those artificial sweeteners like stevia? I want to clarify, stevia is not an artificial sweetener. Stevia is an herb that's processed.
It's completely different.
And, it can be a real tool to help people as they make the transition. But I'm always interested in people balancing their tastes, Nico. There's a lot to the wisdom of the Chinese and of the Indians, both American and Indians, in terms of understanding, the need to have some bitter taste, some hot taste,
yes,
some sour taste.
The sweet taste probably was so foreign to them that might have been like, ew, that doesn't taste normal. I find that too because from an early age, I took away from sugar. I just stopped eating it, and my coffee was black. So the bitter tastes are real. I really like those things. I like the dill taste too.
I like them all, but that's what I like.
The taste I don't like as much. So luckily for me, it's much easier for me. But I do think an important point to remember, folks, is that your taste can change as long as you go through that little withdrawal period. Things like that.
Exactly. Yeah,
and,
exactly.
TFNN, our studio, says peas are loaded with hidden sugars.
Yeah, peas are actually a starchy green vegetable. It is a vegetable that has more starch in it. And as we know, you can make all of your starches more resistant if you cook them and then refrigerate them for up to 12 hours and then reserve them. That helps change the starchiness sugars, such as if you're making a rice.
It helps to break them down, and the bacteria starts to break that down for you, which makes it easier to digest.
Yeah,
so,
but you're exactly right. Peas can actually be a little bit of a starchy veggie.
Yeah.
One of these things that we saw was how targeting carbohydrates can help you burn fat. And, we talked a
So
little
what
bit...
do they mean by targeting?
Well, we talked about that a little bit
I think last week.
Yeah, last week, but I had somebody email me about it, and I just wanted to clarify real quickly. It's when we are loaded with a carbohydrate reserve, and you being the elite personal trainer, just clarify this with me, you're not going to be as successful at burning your fat if you load up just prior to workout with a lot of carbohydrates, a juice or something. I just don't believe the body is very efficient, and it's going to burn up what you drank.
Well, each person is a little different. What happens is, of course, if you're consuming that before a workout, if it spikes your sugar is the key. So if you're taking enough sugar in where your sugar spikes, and now insulin has to be carried in, and insulin is what it opens the cell up.
It's the key that says, hey, I've got some sugar here for you, cell.
And while that process is going on, the fat burning stops.
Exactly, that's my key point.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens is now you're exercising, and you probably have to, under those conditions, you have to exercise about 30, most people 60 minutes before
you start getting to your fat stores.
Yeah.
Because I'm into efficiency, Nico.
I know.
If I'm going to exercise, I want my body burning off the extra calories and fat that I've stored on my hips, buttocks, and thighs, and belly.
So the way to do that,
mess
folks.
Around.
Exactly. So the way to do that is, if you're going to have something to eat an hour or two beforehand, have it maybe more protein and fat.
Correct.
And this way, your sugar doesn't spike, and now you're entering the zone of exercise while you're burning fat, and you're just going to continue burning fat. And what happens afterwards is, if you have more carbohydrates afterwards, it merely replenishes the sugars.
Glycogen stores in the muscles.
In the muscles. If you overconsume and those muscle stores are full, then insulin is going to go back in and start doing repairs, which means getting rid of that sugar, because you can't burn what's not in your muscles. So it's in your blood, and now your blood has to be equalized again, and that's what insulin does. So that's the way it works, and that's why I always say to my clients, don't eat your carbohydrates before, don't even eat them in the early part of the day. I would recommend after 3 o'clock starting your carbohydrates.
And remember that coincides with the great research of Dr. Marshall and Forbes that the human biofield is more receptive to carbohydrate consumption post 3 p.m. We're at maximum insulin sensitivity. Prior to, we're very resistant to insulin, and resistance to insulin means the cells go, you're knocking insulin, but I can't hear you. So then the blood sugar levels stay high. So it's really kind of cool. But I wanted to make sure I clarified that question. I can't remember who sent me the email, but we're good.
Yeah, and it's really good. And if you're like a vegetarian where you're eating more carbohydrates, there are carbohydrates that you can eat in the morning that are not going to spike your sugar. And if you are a vegetarian, you probably have normalized a little bit more, so you're not going to spike it unless you start eating really sweet fruits and things like that. So I'd recommend no fruit in the morning, leave your fruit in the afternoon. It'll also help your sleep that way, too.
Exactly what we say, exactly, because you're, again, have your complex carb sprouted oatmeal in the morning, but don't pile it up with a bunch of high glycemic fruits.
Right, and in the chat room he's asking, Nico, what do you eat before a workout? Well, normally I have my breakfast at 6 a.m. and I work out if I'm between clients. Sometimes I do a workout. But before jiu-jitsu, a lot of times I will have a little protein shake from Protein Grass-Fed Whey. I found a real good one, too. I actually don't know the name of it, but I found it at Nature's Food Patch. Has nothing in it but the whey. It doesn't have any flavorings. And I thought, oh, boy, I'm not sure I'm going to like this. But I actually like it better. There's no vanilla, no chocolate, no nothing. It's just they make them that way.
I have that in my office, too, through Premier.
And it's great stuff. And I also put a little MCT oil with it, and I also put a little bit of the collagen in it.
Right.
So that's what I have about an hour or so before I go to jiu-jitsu. Not every time, if I feel like it. Yeah. And then I'll eat again at 6 o'clock at night. And I don't have anything afterwards, maybe a cup of coffee with some butter in it. That's pretty much how I do mine. But, everybody has their little different regimes, and as long as it works for you, I'm okay with it. I would just recommend people, if you're going to want to think about your health and how the body works, don't eat your carbohydrates in the morning. Eat them in the afternoon.
That is exactly what we're instructing people to look at 3 o'clock. And, I think we might have mentioned this before. If you take a look at a lot of Europeans, if you're a people watcher like I am, despite the McDonald's and so forth that are infiltrating their lovely countries, if you watch people around Europe, they usually walk after dinner. In Italy, they often have ice cream after dinner in the afternoon. They often have tea and crumpets in England, afternoon tea and cake in Austria. So that mid-afternoon is the turning point of which a sweet can be tolerated, assuming you're your ideal weight. You have to use some common sense here. If you're not at your ideal weight, you might not want to do that. Yeah. You want to make sure you maintain your insulin sensitivity and don't tempt it.
Yeah, it's like being on a juice fast. It's if you want to lose weight, the juice fast is not going to do it for you most of the time.
Yeah.
If you're already thin, not a problem. But if you're heavy, and juicing really spikes your sugar, and then...
I see a lot of vegans that come to see me, and they're proud of their juice machine, and they got a $500 one, but they got a belly. They got a belly.
Yeah, it makes sense when you look at it and how they're talking about it, but when you break it down on how the body works, to me, it makes sense to have your carbohydrates. And if you're out in the bush, first of all, you're not going to find many sweet things. You'd find them only at a particular time of the year when it may be necessary for you to gain some weight.
Exactly.
You come along that apple tree, even apples really aren't indigenous to America, but if you were in Britain, let's say, and you came upon an apple tree, a fall apple, you'd probably gorge yourself on it.
Or the berries that come in the late summer. The
yeah.
idea is I'm preparing some sweets that can be converted to fat to get you through the long winter.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, folks, we've got another few minutes to stick around. We're going to come into the next section with something from Caroline Cole. So I think he's prepping that up right now. We'll be right back, folks.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionics, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of The Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Steve Rhodes as he teaches techniques on technical analysis using pattern recognition, celestial charting, Fibonacci, and other tools. The Trader's Edge, next on TFNN.
If he'd ever look up from that screen, if he'd ever look up, he'd see me. But he's checking the news and the game and the weather, watching the time and the mail, but he never lifts his eyes from the desk, chin from the chest. He'd maybe see love if he'd ever look up.
All right, that was Caroline
Beautiful
Cole.
voice.
You know, it's amazing the talent that is out there with a lot of people, and she certainly is one of them. Last night just proved to me over and over that she can command a room and play such perfect guitar. I mean, she played some of the songs from her new album, which you can pick up at the Edgewater Park in Dunedin tomorrow night. She doesn't. That's the only way she's selling it right now until they decide to, I guess, distribute it nationwide. But Catch the band, because the band is all kids her age, coming from Nashville.
Yeah, they're all under 20 or so,
Yeah,
right?
and they're just
fantastic.
amazing musicians. So, and plus you get to eat some nice stone crabs.
That's right.
Stone crab season here, folks.
Eat local and jam out to local
Yeah, and that has
talent.
the best fat, and of course have a little drink too, and there's nothing wrong with that too.
That's right.
So one of the things that we talked about was the sodas, and Mexico has just levied a large tax on sodas. Now, if you know the story,
And these Mexicans are starting to slim down as a result.
they are, and if you know the story, how Coca-Cola infiltrated the school boards in Mexico, they actually went to the government and said, we're going to give you free soda for a year for every school child, and hence, not only did the children get hooked on this stuff, but also the parents. And now Coca-Cola in Mexico is selling rapidly, and now they're trying to slow this down, and they're trying to do this with a tax, and it's actually working.
And let me just interject before we go to the article, for those of you that may not be aware. Many people know that a lot of our Native American Indians and our Mexican kinfolk, many of them have much higher rates of blood pressure and diabetes
Yes,
and
they do.
sugar-related diseases.
And it's a good reason for this, Paige, because
it's not a natural food.
Well, it's not only not a natural food, but they're much closer to being their original selves than we were. Us Europeans have been using these foods for a much longer period of time, giving us some semblance of adaptation, whereas the native people of America, the island people, and of course they mixed with a lot of African people also.
Which is where, when we look at Weston Price's work, and he shows all those photographs in his 1,000-page serial work, Nutrition, Physical Degeneration, all of these native cultures have these beautiful dentition, these big, wide, glide smiles.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you got the American with our narrow horse faces, our narrow arches, and our change in our bite. It's almost like we're a different species because we had the flour and the processed foods.
Yes, and also there was a case of me reading a couple of books on this. The American Indians really thought that the white man was a sick man.
Oh, yeah, they looked at him and said, what's wrong with him and her?
You're eating animals that are domesticated, which is really a no-no for them, because they kept very little. Most of the cultures of North America didn't keep anything, maybe a dog or a horse, but that was only the last few hundred years. Before that, they didn't have that at all.
Correct.
So they weren't used to eating any of the stuff that we were used to eating. But getting back to the thing is that the Mexican was one of the fattest populations on Earth these last 20 or 30 years, with 70% of the people were overweight, slightly higher than the United States, and 32% obese.
Thanks, Coca-Cola.
That's so Coca-Cola. So when you hear about the Coca-Colas and they're being advertised and they're being put in situations in movies and TV, folks, they're pulling the wool over your eyes. Don't drink this stuff.
Get educated, get empowered, live a primal lifestyle. Join us every Friday.
And go see Caroline Cole if you're near us.
We may
be
just
a real
be
treat Saturday night.
tromping around. I'm going to go.
We'll
I'm
be
going to
there
meet
too.
you.
Okay, good.
Okay.
See you, folks.
Bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.